What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and listen, I'm going to make the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach front lobby. This is going to be part 1 of a certain amount, I don't know. And in this episode, we're really going to be focusing on getting the front portion of the layout done, along with the kind of entrance marked out. Yeah, this is going to be certainly a series on the channel, can confirm. I'll show you most of everything here. I won't show all of it in each part. I will probably end up showing from that what we'll be doing, but yeah, I will show everything in this first one so you can kind of see what we are working with here and whether or not you actually want to build this absolute beast. I will be doing these sections of Security Breach all separately, not necessarily every section. I have kind of still yet to consider that. But yeah, that'll be kind of a thing for later, and I do talk about that a little bit later in the tutorial. But yeah, with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. So for this, I have no grid space for you. However, wherever you start this, it is recommended if you are making the full thing, you go in the air. I am not going in the air here because it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to keep this particular copy of the lobby anyway, so I am just building it on the ground for my personal ease. I am going to make sure this, as I'm building this, though, I do consider the fact that you guys are going to be building this in the air, so I'm going to build essentially over the ground by a block still, but yeah, I would say you be up near Y50 to 75, maybe. You don't want to go too high. I mean, you could probably go 100 reasonably. But if you are making the full game, you know, you're going to have problems. I don't know if I'll do full all areas. I will do a lot of the main ones, but, you know, there is that to consider. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's get right into it. We're going to start with the entrance itself, aka, like, this particular area right below me. And you're going to start by getting out magenta concrete, cyan terracotta. We will get out the floor materials because it's probably going to be reasonable to, I think, start with that. White concrete, black concrete, red terracotta, black, no, yeah, black concrete, huh? Stone slabs, stone blocks as well, black stained glass, and do we want to just go with dark oak doors? Or sorry, dark oak trapdoors? Sure, we will get dark oak trapdoors. I think that's a reasonable one to go with. So, starting just left of where you want your entrance point to be, you want to place just on this particular corner a magenta concrete. Alternatively, it could technically be a smooth quartz block, but we don't actually have smooth quartz, so we kind of can't do that. But anyway, you want to bring that magenta in particular. Hold on, I'm just going to break through to actually see where we are. You want to bring that magenta, in theory, back by 4 with magenta. So actually, it'll be 1 row further back is where the smooth quartz will lie. I apologize. You will bring that magenta up with an additional 6 rows of magenta. Now, the bottom row of magenta will be where the floor is. The floor will be here, basically. So you should end up sticking basically above where that is by 6 in total. So yeah. You will then bring the magenta right at the top row with 13 rows of magenta. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am, for the most part, just living the dream. And then bring the magenta at the far right down by 6 again. We're going to do the floor now, so we kind of understand what the heck is happening here. Off of the magenta concrete on either side at the base here, you will place a cyan terracotta behind it. Behind it will be going towards, like, the elevators for the atrium, just so we're on the same page with that. You will then, anyway, bring the cyan terracotta towards each other by 3. And then, from this point, you're going to have a different block on either side, but you'll do alternating white and black concrete to connect together here. I have on the right side a black concrete if you want it to be the same. And there should be a row of 6. just for the hell of it, you want to go back from this pattern by 54 with alternating white and black concrete. And this will go, like, most of the way through your lobby, honestly. But yeah, the lobby is quite big, I would say, and I'm just making sure that I'm right there, and I am. So, just to reiterate on the checkerboard pattern, it is off each side of a black concrete will be a white concrete, at least off each, you know, straight edge. And off each straight edge of a black concrete, it's a white, white, it's a black. I don't know which I said first, so I just gotta say them both again anyway, but yeah. And you're bringing this all the way back by, again, the aforementioned 54. Yeah, that's, you know, it's a great starting point. We're gonna really start with the front mainly, but since we're doing the floor, I might as well just bring it all the way back now. There's no sense in bringing it back to the, like, difference point, I guess, and then just being like, okay, now we're gonna have to come back and bring this back an additional 20 later. Just, you know, doing it all now is logical enough, I think. And you see how I am doing it right now? This probably is one of the faster ways. Just going by row diagonally here and placing the black and white. It is also probably smart to use /fill or something, but, you know. Yeah, this is the first really, like, major tutorial of 2025. How's everybody feeling about it? After this will be probably Playtime Chapter 2, by the way. That will be the next, like, huge one like this. I kind of don't include Hello Neighbors huge anymore. I consider it as big, but not, like, this big, you know. Anyway, you should have this. Nice. I will give you a extra moment to finish that as I remove my marker on the actual build on my alt account here. So what you want to do from this point is you want to take the back of the checkerboard pattern and extend it left and right by an additional 6 rows. Just the back row for now. You'll then take those overhanging blocks and extend each of them forward by 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just kind of fill in the area, of course. Make sure I don't overfill here. And I'll also check with the side to make sure that it is lined up on the grid spot to where it should be. That's kind of been my main usage here of the grid, is just making sure that I don't screw up somehow. Excellent, let's block myself in. Perfect. This is another fun way to do the checkerboard pattern that's fairly quick. Well, this does become a point to where you're just filling in a single block, but I guess, you know, that is kind of the way in every method. Anyway, you should have this, and I'm going to see that I'm one further than that line there, which is correct. It doesn't matter for you, that's just me kind of telling myself, and so you kind of, I guess, understand my process here as to how the frick I'm doing anything at all. So, oh my god, sorry. Head back to the entranceway. We did get a little bit carried away there, but we know where the floor is, and that's kind of what all we needed to do. I just got a little excited. You want to take the front row of the magenta concrete here, and you want to extend it both left and right by, we'll call it 6 with magenta concrete. I do have that corner block, but just like so. Only the bottom row. And then you will actually bring it up with an additional 4 rows of magenta concrete. I have to keep reminding myself that the number that I see is a number that I need to give you and not one less. It's gonna throw me off at some point for sure. Anyway, from there you'll place a row of black concrete on top. You can, if you want, while we're thinking about it, kind of bring, well, actually, is it already as far back as we need it? It might be as far back. Yeah, it is as far back as we need it. You could bring the top of the magenta, in theory, back a little bit more, though, is what I was gonna say, but that is, technically speaking, as far back as it goes. In front of the black concrete, or I guess behind it, inside of the build, whatever, you're going to place a row of upside down stone slabs on either side. The outermost stone slab can be brought up with 19 stone blocks. Just like this. There you go. Now, make sure you are, in fact, from the front of the build, quote-unquote, here, but, which is the outside, because you want to take the outermost black concrete and extend it up diagonally back with a black concrete on either side. It should be in line with the stone. You'll then go up one, up diagonally back by one, and then up by two, up diagonally back by one, or I guess forward by one, my bad. You're going away from the stone, whatever it is. And then you'll go up diagonally, I guess, well, I'll just keep the direction that I'm saying, forward by one, sure, whatever. And then up by two, up diagonally forward one, so towards the stone. Then up diagonally back by one, no sense in changing even if I'm wrong. Up by two, what a philosophy. Up diagonally back by one. Up diagonally forward one. Up two, I think you kind of get the point here. Up diagonally forward one. And then from this point, you're actually going to go up one instead. And you should be at the same height as the stone, which is correct. Each of those black concretes, excuse me, I just spoiled the next step, can be connected across together with black stained glass blocks. This is where I mentioned the top of the magenta might want to be brought back a little bit further so it kind of goes into that glass rather than getting cut off by it. I feel like that would make more sense, but I am just rolling with what I have on the original, which the lobby has done on the original, except I did find a missing block, but that's not the point. But yeah. We'll do the comeback soon sign later, by the way. Because of the inventory stuff, I want to get the outline done first. But just kind of, this is a little bit of a taste into the absurdity that is this build. And this window is like this, by the way. I will clarify this. I know this is weird. It's like, for some reason, just slanted, like spiked. I guess spiked like this is kind of a good way to word it. But yeah, you know. It's a little bit strange. So you should have this. Between the stone and the black concrete, you'll fill in with just stone. And yeah. That is pretty much that. A lot of details, but it should be like an interesting, I guess, amount. I feel like this will end up being somehow more episodes than Poppy Playtime Chapter 1, just like the lobby alone. That'd be kind of diabolical, though. Anyway, from the magenta here on these sides, we're going to actually just use this as the front this time. So when I'm going, basically, like, you know, or the back, I guess, of the lobby for now. Once we start to get more of the lobby constructed, we'll switch that, but for now, the window here will be the back. From either side of the magenta here, you'll go forward diagonally out with a red terracotta. Then go forward one, and forward diagonally out again. Bring the red terracotta up on either side until it is either the same height as the stone or 2 blocks shorter. And I give you the option because we have a red concrete box that sticks out here. But, like, for me, I might as well just bring it up to the height of the stone because it doesn't really matter. But if you are in survival, you don't need the top 2 rows of, really, the stone either, actually. But you do need a you need the black glass there because it does cut off before that. Kind of. It's hard to explain. I don't know. So you should have this. Let's use the dark oak trapdoors now so we can actually get out the red concrete and do those little weird boxes because I just want to get them out of the way. They're weird. That's why. Off of either side, you will be on the 4th black concrete in from the outside. You'll be on this particular row. I'm using the black glass because I find that easier. You'll place a row of dark oak trapdoors going just straight up. It does not follow the diagonalness. It just goes straight up and down. A row of dark oak trapdoors all open up against the the inside of that block, yeah. Closest to the magenta. And if you do not know how to do this, you're just... One of you are fake. Maybe not. You just shift, you crouch and place at the same time, it'll give you this. It'll place them. Trapdoor detailing is, like, really nice, but also then you have to do things like this, which is just annoying. You'll place another row on the next block in that is just up against the kind of back side of that you also will open up. To just make these a little bit thicker. And I think it ends up actually evening out the space better, believe it or not. Maybe it doesn't actually, maybe that's a lie. I don't remember. This is really annoying to place. There you go. Oh my god. Essentially, you want to make sure that you have that quote-unquote 4-block gap. And the reason I say quote-unquote is because it'll really be less than 4, but like you see, I'm going to have 4 black glass that I can count in total, and then this will be the dark oak trapdoor will be on that end black glass. You see, first has a trapdoor, second, third, fourth will also have a trapdoor. First, second, third, fourth. First, second, third, and the fourth we should already have. So you're doing 3 more of these pillars, essentially. I'm not sure why they don't follow the trajectory. You would think it would... My controller is drifting on my alt account. That's great. You would think, though, it would, you know, follow the trajectory to, like, break up the glass panels, but I guess nah. I guess that's too much work. Although probably Steel Wool, I would imagine, was not thinking particularly and was like, we're just going to make these like this and, you know, have it somebody else's problem. Just, like, more of a perspective thing. Because you're not really going to look this closely at it unless you're me and you're building the game in Minecraft. I actually don't think anybody has made the window particularly slanted. I haven't seen many builds, though, but the ones that I have seen, the windows were flat. I don't know, it's weird. It's such a minor detail that you probably shouldn't care to do anyway, but when it's me and I'm building, I always care. How long am I going to go for this? That's a really good question. I guess I'm still trying to figure out how long I want episodes. This is parts. This is about where the community post was updated about, or uploaded about that. It's like the day after or something. And I've gotten, so far, a pretty good answer of... Most people are, I think, in agreement on 20 to 40 minutes. Anyway, you should have this. Get rid of your dark oak trapdoors and get out red concrete so we can do the weird box thing. You want to take the outermost row of black glass on either side and extend it out with 6 red concrete on both blocks. You'll then extend each red concrete out by 3 rows, which is either, you know, right or left, and if it ends up having to be less than that, then sure, but if it ends up being exactly 3, then that is good. And again, you really don't have to do the entire thing, but I will just because funny. Directing our attention back to the black glass, you'll just place a row of stone on top of this top row of black glass. And then extend it, I guess, what is this, forward now with 5 rows of stone. It'll end up being 1 shorter than the red concrete. And this is really all we're going to do for this particular portion. I don't want to do the whole ceiling because, well, we don't have any of our walls yet, so why would I do that? But just kind of getting the start of it at least, like so. And I would say that looks pretty solid. Unless you disagree, then why are you here? But regardless, let's do the layout now, and we will start with the eeny, meeny, miny, the one side, you know? First off, get rid of your red concrete again and get out lime concrete this time, and we'll start with the left. You'll take the row of red terracotta closest to you and bring it forward diagonally left with a magenta. Extend it forward by 2, forward diagonally left 1, forward 1, left by 6, forward diagonally left 1, left by 5, then forward diagonally left with a lime, forward 1, left by 3, forward diagonally left with a magenta, left by 6, forward diagonally left with a magenta, left by 6, forward diagonally left by 2 with the magenta, and then we're going to do a little bit of inventory reorganizing. Get rid of your black glass, stone, and stone slabs, and get out light gray concrete, quartz pillars, and what else do we even need? Like, pretty much nothing. We'll get out pearlescent frog lights for now, I think, because we do need them later. You'll bring that magenta forward with a light gray concrete, but then from the magenta and not the light gray concrete, you will go left with 2 sideways quartz pillars facing left. Then go forward diagonally left with another one in the same direction, left with 2 magenta, forward diagonally left with a magenta, left with 2 sideways quartz pillars, forward diagonally left with another one, and then you'll go left with a magenta, which will be brought forward with a light gray concrete, but from that magenta as well, you'll go left with an additional 2. You'll then go forward with a number of magenta that I don't know, so I'm going to count. You go forward with 17 magenta. That is definitely one way to count it. From the end of that, you'll go forward diagonally right with a lime, right 1, forward diagonally right 1, forward 1, then forward diagonally right with a magenta, right by 3, then I don't have a grid spot here, but right with a pearlescent frog light, or red concrete there, I should say, for my grid, then forward with 2 magenta, then right with 15, then right from that with 13 cyan terracotta, and then a magenta concrete. Extend it back by, oh god, 5. Then place a pearlescent frog light, 2 magenta. You'll then go back diagonally right by 2, right with a black concrete, back diagonally right by 3 with magenta, right by 6, then forward diagonally right with 2 magenta, forward with a black concrete, forward with 9 magenta, black concrete, magenta, forward diagonally left with a magenta, then left by 9. Then you need black concrete here. I'm gonna place it, but keep in mind this is for a doorway and not for a pillar. And then anyway, from there you'll go left with 2 magenta and forward with a pearlescent frog light. It's absurd shape now that I'm looking at it again. I really didn't realize that shape was that freaking weird. But anyway, we're gonna move on from our life with that one, and we're gonna head to the right side and do the right side layout, which is a little bit more wall-oriented and less weirdness. Well, not really. You want to start from the same red terracotta and go forward diagonally right with a magenta again. Go forward 2, forward diagonally right 1, forward 1, right by 6, forward diagonally right 1, right by 5, then forward diagonally right with a lime, forward 1, right by 3, forward diagonally right with a magenta, right by 6, 4 diagonally right with a magenta. Right by 6. Oopsies, I love this game. Then 4 diagonally right with a lime. Right by 2. 4 diagonally right with a magenta, and this is why I follow or check the actual build, even though I have the grid. You'll go forward with the magenta. Right 2. 4 diagonally right 1. Right 1. 4 diagonally right 1. Right by 2. 4 diagonally right with a lime. Forward 1. Right by 3. Then forward diagonally right with a magenta. Forward by 5. Then you'll leave a gap of 4, which would end up being cobbled deep slate if you want to place it, but I'm not going to because that's not important for right now. But then in front of that, you'll place 6 magenta concrete. Go forward diagonally left with a lime. Left 1. Forward diagonally left 1. Left 1. Forward diagonally left with a magenta. Left by 2. Then forward diagonally left by 2. Then left by 18. Then back diagonally left with a lime. Back 1. Back diagonally left 1. Left 1. Then back diagonally left with 2 magenta. Back with a pearlescent froglight. Left with 5 magenta concrete. Back diagonally left 1. Back 1. Back diagonally left 1. Left by 3. Back diagonally left with a black. Back 1 with a magenta. Back diagonally left by 2. Left by 6. Then forward diagonally left with 2 magenta. Back with a black concrete. Then 9 magenta. A black concrete. A magenta. Then back diagonally right with a magenta. Right with a black concrete. Then you'll just leave a gap of 2, I guess. Place a black concrete, and then a magenta concrete. And that's all the layout will do for right now. The rest is the back half, which I want to save for later, because I don't want to do it all at once and, you know, just become boring. So, the next step here is the floor. The floor is not that bad. However, because there's like random purple wool things everywhere, we're gonna just kind of fill everything in and then worry about those later. Because it's kind of my way to go here. So, off either side of this like original black and white checker, only at the front here, you will want to have 6 rows of cyan terracotta. Whether you build off the original row of 4 or not really doesn't matter, but you just want to make sure you have 6 in total. And I will actually bring this all the way back. And, because it'll just all run into that checkerboard pattern anyway, since it overhangs. But you don't technically need it this far back yet. We'll have to fill that in later anyway, so, you know. It's not particularly a huge deal. Okay, really? So here's what the security breach tutorial will work, I guess, is a good time to say. Basically, every section that I'm making will be labeled its own thing. So, for example, you see this is the Five Nights at Freddy's security breach lobby, and it'll be part 1 of the lobby. When I get to, let's say, prize counter, it'll be part 1 of the prize counter. And, you know, things like that. That is kind of how it will work, just because I do find that a little bit easier, rather than being like, here's Five Nights at Freddy's security breach tutorial, part 706, you know, like, it'll be a lot of parts, so, not that many, hopefully, but, you know. Anyway, then outside of that, on either side, you want 6 of the checkerboard pattern. Again, you do have to bring this forward as well a little bit more. And again, it doesn't matter how you start. I, for all intensive purposes, like it to be the same. So I'll do this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. That actually connects me into the wall. But yeah, and then this one will end up getting interrupted by the segments at the back here. Or I guess the back segments that we made. Sure, we'll go with that. So you will not end up having to bring them all the way back. Do keep in mind what is your floor and what is not your floor, because I should have probably told you to bring everything up by a block first, but we'll worry about that in a second here. I guess we'll do that after we just fill in the front of the cyan terracotta area. Probably wasn't great planning on my part, I apologize, but I just want to get the floor in so we kind of can understand what's happening, and so we know the heights of the walls and everything, you know? It will make our life a little bit easier for sure. And then I have the other side here, which will be something, I guess. I don't really know. It's not that bad. With some of the floors and stuff I made a checkerboard pattern in LN2 out of bone blocks. I remember that very clearly. It was like bone blocks in mud or something. And, you know, it worked, but let's just say, obviously, you know, I'm placing the bone block directional, so that was a little bit annoying, but it was about the right, like, color and texture that the floor was, so I went with it. And it was, I think, like a 3x3 or a 2x2 or something. It was fun. And I believe that pattern got reused a lot. Like, I feel like there are multiple parts in the hospital that used it, and also I remember a room in Chapter 4, specifically, that I'm thinking of. One of the chase scenes. These are the only one, but I forgot that, that is not true. Anyway, the rest of the front of the floor you're filling in with cyan terracotta just inside of your layout here. This is probably the not-so-fun part. Do I want to even... I might even consider time-lapsing this. Yeah, I am going to time-lapse this. Because of how big of an area this is, I will time-lapse it. So yeah, I'll catch you on the flip side once this is done. It shouldn't be too long of a time-lapse. So you should have this now. We'll worry about the floor detailing a little bit later. We're going to do really a couple of small things before the part is over here. However, the first one is, I think, fairly easy. Each lime concrete you will start by taking and bringing up by 19. I would recommend doing this a very easy way here. I would just count 1 up to 19, alright? And just stand on it, and if you have your show coordinates on, if you do not, you can go into settings, and in game, on the world, you'll scroll down a little bit, and it'll be just under your simulation distance. It'll be the second option. If this is on, you'll see my Y coordinate here is negative 39, which would be where the 19 ends. And essentially, obviously, I'll just fill this one in with whatever. And every time when I place it, instead of counting the 19 out, I'll just fill up to that same Y height, which was what, negative 39? Yeah. And, you know, it'll be a lot easier that way. Sometimes I will count just to, you know, double check, but you really don't need to count every single one, because that's just redundant. If you know the height of one is correct, then why would you do it for all of them, you know? But yeah, this is easier. The reason we do only the lime concrete here is because some of the magenta isn't brought up at all more than 1, and some of it also has the, you know, pictures and stuff on the walls. Which will probably be next episode. That'll be mainly the wall detailing, and then after the wall detailing, I think we'll do, like, the middle of the front here, and, you know, we'll just kind of work around here. There's a lot of stuff, like, a lot of stuff. So, yeah, this will be certainly interesting, especially with the shorter parts being more so at play here. Although not obviously too short. These are still going to be probably pushing that 40-minute that I asked in the poll. So yeah. But I think that's not going to apply for everything, just by the way. Like, things like this and Poppy Playtime it will. But for something like the Hello Neighbor houses, I may end up, if the exterior ends up being like an hour, I'm not going to split that in half because I don't see the point. And I think the interior is kind of fine the way it is, although if I have like a floor that ends up being 2 hours or something, then I will split it up more. Because I do see both sides of it. I think the shorter parts make sense, but wait, am I making these shorter? Hold on, I'm like losing it. Let's check over here real quick. No, okay, I just... The 19 and the 9 is throwing me off. But, what was I saying? I will still try to generally listen to that. It is certainly a change for me from what I usually do now. Anyway, you should have this. Now, from this point, really, we have one main thing I want to do, and let's just take each floor material and bring it up by one. Or not each floor material, but each wall material and bring it up by one. This is the magenta concrete, the black concrete, and the pearlescent frog lights from this point, since we already did the lime. The lime is really the only thing we can bring up by more than one for right now, because, again, everything is weird. But, yeah. The row of 2 that I mentioned earlier, you are leaving alone. That is the one kind of exception here. On the right side on this guy, that row of 2 black concrete. You're just kind of ignoring that, because that is technically speaking a floor material. Even if you don't want it to be, it's a floor material nonetheless. So, yeah. Alright, we'll just skip over that, and there we go. I do have this side, though. God dang it. It's fine. Oh, yeah, I also forgot about the quartz pillar and light gray concrete. That also gets brought up. I just forgot to mention it. I'm gonna bring up all the magenta first so I can just build it, or build the quartz pillar off of it. Because that is easier than trying to gruelingly do it. Why is that even a sentence? What am I saying? Anyway, you should have almost this. I am forgetting segments left and right here for some reason. Oh my god. There we go. Now it's done for real this time. Only took me 3 tries. Anyway, yeah, you'll have this. Because I just can't seem to let this particular part go, I want to do one really small thing here. And it's the like weird thing around the entrance here. You can clear your inventory entirely and get out. Polished blackstone. Polished blackstone slabs. Smooth quartz slabs. Smooth quartz stairs. Green carpet, if I could find it for some reason. Why am I opening everything? And we'll also get out end rods, and I used birch trapdoors originally because this was made like years ago. Not really, but it was made a while ago. You may want to consider using pale oak trapdoors because it is white, which I'm actually going to do. I may change that on my original. So what you want to do from this point is looking at the entrance. You want to take either side and just left and right of the base of it, you want to place pale oak trapdoors off of the front 3 blocks that are open, not up against it, but kind of a block away from it almost entirely. Like this. You'll bring each of those trapdoors up by 4. This is so fun to play this. I'm having a great time. There we go. Bring those trapdoor rows forward an additional row so they kind of stick out the front by a block. Oh, that's so weird, the shading there. Why is that like that? Minecraft Bedrock shading is immaculate, I'm telling you. It's an absolute work of art. Anyway. To the outside of the bottom row of slabs, you'll place polished blackstone slabs that are just, again, along the base of it here. With a polished blackstone block in front that sticks one further forward than the trapdoors, even. Bring the polished blackstone block on either side up by 5. And then place a polished blackstone slab on top of that. Go in from there with a block, an upside down slab, and then up with a slab, and that's really it. You'll bring the slab and upside down slab at the top back by 4 on both sides. You'll also, on top of each pale oak trap door, you'll place an upside down smooth quartz stair facing towards the... Or you'll place it facing towards the middle. It'll end up being up against the magenta concrete a little bit. This is going to be really annoying to place. But, yeah, you just want it on top of each of those 4 trap doors, and that's it. On both sides, of course. Because why would it not be on both sides? Silly goose. You could even use pale oak, like, for this as well to make it a little bit more consistent, but I don't particularly care. On top of the upside down stairs, you'll just place smooth quartz slabs to kind of fill in that gap from the sides. You'll also take the upside down stair that overhangs at the front on either side, or I guess the back, whatever you want to call it, and connect it together with upside down smooth quartz slabs. Then wherever you can in the middle here, you'll just place green carpet on top. Now there's some exceptions to this. The left and right row will stay completely open, along with the row at the far, I guess, front, back, whatever that is, where the dark oak trapdoors are. There's a reason you will see in a second as to why, though. We'll worry about it in a second, because... well, actually, let's worry about it now. Get out green wool, and just break that back row of magenta, at least behind where the green carpet is, and replace it with green wool. Just so we still have the green there, but yeah, you know. Like so. That isn't visible at all, so you don't have to worry about it. You can get rid of, like, your green wool and you get rid of everything, really, except for your smooth quartz slabs, stairs, and end rods. And get out smooth quartz blocks, which will probably be helpful. Cyan terracotta. Black concrete. White concrete, and gray concrete. And this is where we'll actually end for real, because this is still part of the entrance. Just so we're aware. Behind the magenta on either side, you'll place a row of smooth quartz blocks, like so. I'll just make it a full row of 6, but you don't actually need it 6 tall, I don't believe. You will connect it together at the bottom row. And also at the... yeah, I guess the top row as well, actually. Also at the, not the front row magenta, but one row back, you'll do the same thing, except you will not have it on these sides. You'll just have a row of smooth quartz at the bottom and top here. And these two should be 3 rows apart. You want to bring your cyan terracotta floor and your checkerboard pattern floor back, and just through this, at least the first line of smooth quartz, and just connect into the second. Just like so. I cannot see. Okay, there we go. I, could not see because of the black concrete just shadowed everything, and I literally couldn't see where I was placing things. So, from this point, you will leave the left and right rows open and go in from either side, and again, leaving the first open, place a row of smooth quartz blocks that is 3 tall. You're doing this on both rows and on both sides of both rows. That makes a lot of sense. Leave a gap of 1 and place another row of 3 smooth quartz moving in. And then a gap of 1 and place another row, but this will end up being 2 rows because it's in the middle. You'll fill in each of the gaps with end rods from top to bottom, just placing rows of 3. At the front particular area, you're actually going to leave the middle kind of out of the 3 on either side open, which means you're doing the furthest out and furthest in ones and just leaving this open. But on the outer row, you are doing all 6. Because you cannot escape. You will see in my map, also, if you end up downloading FNAF Rebooted, it won't be out yet, but whenever I actually announce it, I do have a dark oak pressure plate here, which just allows you to literally leave and go back to the lobby. From this point, you're doing kind of the same thing. On top of the outermost ender rod on each side, you'll place a smooth quartz slab. Inside of that, a smooth quartz stair facing into that end rod. Inside of that, a smooth quartz slab again. Then a stair facing into that slab. then a slab, and then just it'll be a set of 2 stairs back to back, like so. The ceiling in here will be filled in with gray concrete in line with the top row of smooth quartz. And it is also probably recommended that you fill in the outside here with black concrete just behind like the end rods and stuff, so you cannot see out. Although you can make an exterior or something if you so choose. I did not because I just didn't. But yeah, there you go. And yeah, there you go. Once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 1 done of your security breach lobby. This will be fun for sure. As you can see, we really didn't get that far, but, you know, we got somewhere, so we'll take it for sure. Hopefully next episode we will be able to finish all of the walls and maybe get the ceiling in, and then we'll end up on the episode after that doing all the detailing, and that'll be probably the front area done, unless, of course, I need to split it in half for part lengths. But yeah, that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.